our schools. And right now, I'd like to introduce my daughter, Diane. Yeah, she got into Stanford this year. And she's not going to be in our major because she's not as talented as the others. Yeah, but she's going to pursue the economics major. But she applied in Stanford with like a supplemental art portfolio, which is going to help like if you apply for like some top universities. And she's going to share her experience, and also one of her Stanford essays is about the art. All right, thank you.
Hi, so my name is Diane, and today I'll be talking about how to use art in college essays or as an art supplement, so not exactly as for art school. So first, a little bit about myself. Before I applied, I had already played on a national and international level. And at my school, I was the head or president of my Interact Club or International Action Club for 2 years. And the summer before my senior year, I researched at UC Santa Barbara's research mentorship program on the South China Sea territorial conflict, and I wrote a 7-page research paper about it. And after this 6-week program, I spent the remaining of my summer at my mom's art school building my college art portfolio. I built my college art portfolio with oil painting, watercolor, and also Chinese painting. So first, I'll talk about how I use art in my college essays, specifically my Stanford University application. So when applying to Stanford, there are 4 major essays. The first one is the Common App, and the remaining 3 are the supplemental essays, such as Intellectual Vitality, Letter to Your Roommate, and finally, What Matters to You and Why. For my first 3 essays, which was the Common App, Letter to Your Roommate, and Intellectual Vitality, I displayed a more energetic and academic side of myself, but not exactly the reflective side of myself I wanted to project. So art was the perfect platform and medium for me to do so. And in my What Matters and Why essay, I felt like art helped show resilience and also maturity. So this is a short excerpt of my What Matters to You and Why essay. And it says that painting taught me to turn mistakes into opportunities and windows to different sites and cultures. Even as I begged 5 or 6 times to redo the painting, the teacher simply said, art is about turning mistakes into beauty. This has stuck to me ever since, with me ever since. So when talking about art, you don't necessarily have to talk about what art pieces you have created, but rather what lessons you have learned from art, or what character development you have gotten from art. And that's what I felt really helped me express my reflective and mature side to the colleges. So for building a general art portfolio for colleges, to Common App colleges, there is either one of 2 options. The first one is when colleges have their own college art portal, where you can just upload your art pieces. Whereas the second one is they have a third-party platform called Slidery, where you upload your art pieces to this website, and through this website, the colleges will have your art portfolio. And for the structure of an art portfolio, it really differs from school to school. Every school has different requirements. So I've seen schools that had requirements for an art resume, a description of each piece, and also a recommendation from an art teacher, whereas other schools, only artwork is required. So you just need to upload your artwork and you're finished. And here are some pieces in my application. So I built this oil painting with Diane. And I did some watercolor and also marker and watercolor for that piece. And for these pieces, I built them with my mom. And these are the Chinese painting pieces in my application. So for some advice to students, definitely build some art portfolio and use it as a supplement, especially if you write about it in your college essays. It shows that you are dedicated to extracurricular. And art helps show different sides to your personality. So every college loves to see more extracurriculars. and you should definitely list it as an extracurricular. Be true and stay consistent to yourself in your essay and your art, and finally start your portfolio and your essays early. I started my portfolio and my essays in June and July, so when the deadlines approached in the fall and winter, I wasn't as stressed, which definitely helped balance with schoolwork and extracurriculars. Any questions? I applied to some IBs, not all of them, and then I applied to 3 UCs, which is UC Berkeley, UC LA, and UC San Diego, and some liberal arts schools. Any other questions?
I thought that you might have a lot of questions. She was like, tell me why people ask me about everything. Okay. Yeah.
How do you find out which school? Like, because you do different majors, right? It's not our major, you do economics. Yeah, how do you find out the school, this major, or the school will look at your art portfolio?
If you submit an art portfolio, the school will look at it.
Oh. Any major or?
Any major.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you decide to do it in economy?
I researched.
Was it like an interest from high school or
High school, because I self-studied macro and microeconomics, so I really like it. Any other questions?
Why do you decide to go to economics? I thought you also like business.
Oh, I like international relations too. But economics, it's more flexible, so you can use it in different fields.
So you just mentioned you have very high level on table tennis, right? So do you also submit that as a
No, I didn't.
You did?
Colleges don't look that deeply into table tennis. They look more deeply into art, so go to art. Any other questions?
Yeah, I did the next person say that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Diane.
We ask other students. What do you score?
So my GPA for my junior and senior, for my sophomore and junior years, which was mostly what colleges look at, was 4.83. And my SAT scores were 2310, and I had 3 800s in my SAT too. So which was Chinese, US history, and math.
And she took like 14 APs, but 9 of them. She
I
didn't
applied
take it
with
out.
9 of them.
Yeah, she applied with 9 of them.
What's your advice to apply for Stanford? What's your advice for going to Stanford?
Good luck.
Alright, well, hello everybody. My name is Ryan Williams. I'm the AP art teacher here at Ichen Art Academy. I'm actually just going to be going through a list of recommended schools and expectations for different art schools and traditional universities. I have not seen this before, so I'm just kind of, I guess it's actually really interesting though to see differences of SAT and GPA requirements for UCLA, Carnegie Mellon, USC, but then you see Rhode Island School of Design still it's up to like 3.5.
Yeah, why do I put on the statistics? Yeah, because a lot of parents, they want to know like what kind of level the school wants. Yeah, especially if you are going to some major universities, you got to have good GPAs. Like, they look at equally with portfolios, or even like more on academic. But if you're going to art school, they would focus more on your portfolio rather than your academic. So that is, the comparison. Yes, there is a comparison to give the parents some ideas.
Yeah, that's definitely the academic requirements differ greatly between going to a traditional university and going to an art university. I'm going to go over a couple of different schools here. These are the traditional universities. We're going to start with Carnegie Mellon. Carnegie Mellon has notoriously had an excellent art department. Within it's architecture, fine art, industrial design, graphic design, environmental design. 25% of students pursue something called an interdisciplinary degree, or they call it a BXA at this time. An interdisciplinary degree is where you're mixing, say, science and art, or humanities and art. So you're studying multiple things at the same time, and it broadens your horizons a little bit more, instead of just focusing only on the arts itself. This will actually make you more employable coming out of school. It's a little safer route to go. So people that may not want to only dig in on only the arts, this does broaden your horizons a little bit. And as I said, Carnegie Mellon has had an excellent art department the entire time. Bachelor's degree programs across the board. The next one we're going to talk about is USC. As it says, the art department at USC for bachelor's level is the Jimmy Levine and Andre Young Academy for the Arts. These are 4-year programs. They still deal with entrepreneurship, computer science, engineering, and audio and visual design in the arts. So they're also interdisciplinary within the same things, where they're trying to push you in multiple directions at the same time. There is also the Roxy School, which is the master's degree. So I don't think anybody really needs to hear about that right now.
So, it's a 5-year program.
Yeah, 5-year program for the USC.
And
the next one is...
Oh, no, so USC is 4 years.
Oh, yeah,
I need
4 years.
Sorry.
But yeah, so no, it's okay. The next one we're going to talk about is Brown RISD. They're 2 separate colleges. You can get, if you want to study at Brown RISD, they'll work as a joint degree together, but you have to be accepted to both schools, is the thing there. And they're across the street from each other. So you will be a student at both schools at the same time. RISD being one of the top art universities in the nation, and Brown being a very strong university in itself. So you can have a much more interdisciplinary degree, which is something that's going to be coming up a lot more within these traditional art college degrees. We also recommend the UCLA. Of the UC department, UCLA is the strongest art department at this time. UC Davis is also known to have a good art department. It has weakened in the years, but it's still very strong. I have my notes here, sorry. UC Berkeley, UCSD, and UCSD are also strong art departments. These are the lists of the traditional universities that we've been going through. So if you're going to be studying art at a traditional university, your GPA and SAT, of course, come first. Your portfolio comes second. They still want to see a portfolio. They still want to see that you're working on this, but you have to meet their requirements for GPA and SAT. So if you're looking to be an artist, don't quit on those ever. So it's going to be good no matter what.
This whole program that we suggest is like you got to have very strong GPA.
Yes.
In the meantime, very strong portfolio to get in.
You need
Particularly
that Brown RISD one, because RISD's portfolio, you're going to have RISD's portfolio requirement, and then Brown's GPA SAT requirement. So you're looking at, I mean, although if you get in there,
And also, like CMU, their acceptance rate is about 12 to 13%.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for USC, there is a new program. It's Art, Business, and Technology, which is like a very new program, okay, and a very top program. And the acceptance rate is under 10. Okay, so it's like, so you can either very good at art, you can be either very good at business, or you can either very good at technology. But it's, like the acceptance rate is really low, and then they only accept about 30 students.
It's very competitive.
Very competitive. So if you're good on both
academics and portfolio,
Yeah.
these are excellent routes to take, which will open up a lot more opportunities in the future as we go forward. I'm going to go through the list of recommended art schools as well, although I would like to talk about UCLA does have very strong film departments, animation, and things like that. It's a very good school, all this one right. Let's see if I go the right direction. There we go. So we're still at the UC. We also have the art departments, as I said, for UC Davis. UC Davis used to be it used to be the strongest UC, but this was a very long time ago. The remnants of it have actually still stayed there, but it's more of a fine art school at this point in time, so not something most people are looking at. And then the rest of them are just strong art departments in general. The Cal States, and we've talked about Cal Poly. San Jose State is an excellent animation program and illustration programs within it. So there's some strong Cal programs that are very good to go to. So now we're going to go into Art Center College of Design. We have a couple students for going there, which is awesome.
Quick question. Is
yes.
Cal Poly the San Luis Obispo or Pomona?
Cal Poly is different from Pomona College.
Oh no, there's Cal Poly Pomona campus versus San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, one is Pomona College and one is Cal Poly Pomona.
Oh.
Yeah, Cal Poly Pomona is state school, and
Oh,
Pomona
okay,
College is a very good private, like liberal art school.
Oh,
Yeah, my daughter was like thinking to go there
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, so she was like, people asked, is it Cal Poly Pomona? She said, no, it's Pomona College. It's different school. And also, I like to emphasize like the major university with art school. What is the difference with the art school and also like major university? And yeah, the major university like UCs, if you get into their art program, as I heard from all my students, they come back with this kind of experience. They said the first 2 years, you're going to study your like a general education. So you're not going to be able to touch it until your third year.
Yeah.
So basically, they are not ready to prepare you to get into industry as much as like the art school.
Yeah, I mean, if you're truly committed to art and you're like laser focused on that, the true art schools are the places to go. If you're a little bit unsure, go to a traditional university with a strong art department, and you'll have just a broader selection of topics, be able to study more things, kind of giving you a broader set of skills.
Yeah, just like you can minor or you can major. I think a lot of parents, they like to take the route.
Yeah, and there will be minors and things that you can do in art schools, but they're usually very narrow in what you're able to. I mean, I minored in marketing with my fine art and stuff like that. There's not, you couldn't minor in science or math at most of these art schools. It's just not happening. So the next one is Art Center College of Design. We've had a number of people talk about the school already. Excellent art school, very strong industrial design, entertainment design that kind of spearfronted the entire thing on that. And very, very competitive to get into the school for those departments. Cal Arts is also down in Los Angeles. Cal Arts is arguably one of the top animation schools in the nation and has occupied that spot for a very long time. If you're looking at animation, it should be on your list of places to go no matter what. There's a saying about Cal Arts, one of my friends actually used to teach there, that if you graduate from Cal Arts, you work very good. And the reason they say that is because they recruit early. So if you get a job before you can. So we have California College of the Arts. California College of the Arts is primarily a fine art school in Oakland. Interesting little side note is my grandmother was from the first graduating class. But their main focus is fine arts, but they have an excellent architecture department as well. So if you're interested in either of those things, if architecture is something you're wanting to look at, CCA should be on your list of schools to be looking at. So Academy of Art University. Academy of Art University is an open enrollment school that's in San Francisco proper. It's a highly technical school. I recommend that Academy of Art is kind of that back pocket school because you can go there no matter what. But they're very difficult, is the thing. So they'll let anybody in, but then they're looking to be as hard as they can on you. And if you can't survive there in the beginning, you weren't very serious to begin with, and you're probably going to leave. The teachers are actually intentionally kind of supposed to be super hard on you. Academy of Art is extremely good for fashion, animation, illustration. In fact, Chuck Pyle, who's the head of the illustration department at Academy of Art, won Teacher of the Year from the Institute of Illustrators in New York 2 years ago. He's an excellent illustrator and an excellent academic person to be in touch with. He knows many people from the field as well. A good thing about that school is most of the teachers there are working professionals, so it's a great school for connections, is another thing to think about. And then we go into Laguna College of Art. Now, I didn't really hear much about Laguna until you were looking at Laguna, right? So Laguna is, I believe it's a smaller college. Popular is illustration, fine art studios, and game and interactive design and media. So, I don't know much about Laguna past that, I'm sorry to tell you. Rhode Island School of Design, so RISD. RISD is arguably the most prestigious art school in the nation. It's been around for a long time. It has an exceptional reputation. I mean, it's kind of looked at as like the Harvard of the art schools. It's hard to get into. It's a very, very good fine art school, but it's also a very good illustration school and animation school. Very reputable. Another school, it's about connections, but it's also very high education quality that goes on with the school. We also have one of our teachers went to RISD, Sam, I believe. Yeah. So an excellent school for illustration. Maryland Institute College of the Arts. This is another one I have on the list. So illustration, graphic design, and painting. I haven't really heard much about it from there, but it's definitely on the list for the top colleges, and something that you should look into.
Yeah, it's number 2. Number two on graphic design.
On graphic design. Yeah. So graphic design. So definitely that. So School of the Art Institute of Chicago, the school that gave Kanye an honorary degree, has actually been labeled one of the top art schools in the nation repeatedly, primarily with an illustration and fine art again. So interior architecture and art history and studio art. Very competitive, very prestigious art school to also go to at the time. Has a very great reputation. Parsons. Parsons used to be a 2-part school, and it'll be the next one as well. It used to be Otis Parsons. Parsons is the New York department. They're very good within communication design and fashion design. They're a smaller school in New York. They've been around for a long time. They used to be joined with another school, which is next on the list, called Otis. They used to be joined called Otis Parsons. Otis is a school in Los Angeles that is much more for fine art, studio art, and painting, and things of that nature. Also an excellent school. So Cooper Union. Now Cooper Union is a very interesting school. Cooper Union's been around since, I believe, 1859 or something of that nature. It's one of the oldest art schools in the nation. And yeah, 1859. Cooper Union used to be free, to be honest with you. It was completely based on science and art and trying to merge the two together. Because they couldn't make money being free, that has ended. But at the same time, it's a very old school with a lot of good departments, but it's primarily science and art based. So we have the Fashion Institute of Technology, also in New York, and it specifically is for fashion merchandising, things, advertising, and things like that. I have the School of Visual Arts, which is another school in New York. It is a strong graphic design, photography, and illustration school. The last school on our list is Ringling College of Art and Design. Ringling is one of the top animation and illustration schools. It's in Sarasota, Florida, and it's definitely worth looking into for anybody who's interested in the arts. So I believe we are going to get into, so we have the AP Art Portfolio Boot Camps and Open Studios.
These are school programs.
Yeah, our school, so these are our school programs that we're working on that we're going to be offering over the summer for portfolio building, people that are looking to build stronger skills. We have very specific workshops. The AP Art Portfolio Boot Camp and Open Studio is specifically for people who are going to be going into AP Studio Art itself, who are prepping to bring into AP Studio Art, or who wish to learn to build, portfolios for supplementary college or college admissions itself. The other workshops, which are all highly effective, for oil painting. Oil painting is going to be an introduction into oil painting, primarily focusing on still life and observational painting and drawing, where the student will learn to work from values up into a full palette in a very quick matter of time. The watercolor workshop is going to be the essential basics intro to watercolor and how it functions, so it's a place where you can learn how to use a medium that you haven't learned before. Intro to manga is exactly what it sounds like, and it's intro to manga. I always get corrected on that. So it's going to be an intro to how to use the stylistic and how to design characters using the stylization of manga. Digital drawing and painting will be, we have 3 tiers of it. We have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced, where you will learn how to navigate through Photoshop, utilize Photoshop for painting, illustration, and just general art creation. Comic book illustration, it's a fun one, is we will be, over the course of the comic book illustration, you will be designing a character, writing a very short story, and illustrating a small comic by the end of the week. And it's dealing with the continuity of sequential art and how to move a story forward using pictures. The abstract painting workshop is an abstract painting workshop where students will learn the fundamentals of how to use color, composition, design with an abstract form, mark making and calligraphic type marks, things that can be brought into their realism as well to strengthen them there. And the last one, we have a graphic design, and that's the new teacher that's coming in, right?
Yeah, graphic design and also digital drawing.
Yeah.
This year we have one instructor from Academy of Art, Jeff. He has been teaching there for about 10 years, and he works for Disney and also like DreamWorks, all those like big companies. He is really strong in teaching and also like this kind of experience. So yeah, so we're very lucky that we can have him here for 3 weeks, especially like in July.
Yeah, that's going to be really great. So these are the workshops that we're going to be offering over the summer in helping develop portfolios, helping to broaden your skill sets. A variety of excellent teachers will be here teaching them.
Yeah, and regarding all the information that the college list that we went through, because this is PowerPoint, we can't put too many things inside. So I have everything listed, and I'm going to put it on our school website, and then you can take a look. Maybe in 2 days we're going to.
Yeah, we'll post the entire list online, and we'll update the list as well when we have new information about other colleges. So I welcome questions at this time if anybody has any.
The presentation doesn't have the major for which that school is
Okay.
So with the names, so if you say
the best thing to do with the names is I needed to get you the information, but there are different schools that have different majors and what their strengths at. So really the best thing there is to decide what major you're looking at, and then look into the different colleges from there, which ones are. Talk to me personally, and I'm more than happy to sit down and talk with anybody at any point in time about these majors, about the specific colleges, and answer questions about which ones are strong and which majors. A lot of the general majors, you're going to see illustration, animation, graphic design, fine art, photography, are very strong at most of the core art schools. They have good departments in those areas, but then there are stars amongst them too, where, as I said, like Cal Arts for animation, Pasadena Art Center for illustration and entertainment design, RISD is fine art and things of that nature. Which one was that? The graphic design one? Because Academy of Art was also excellent at fashion and graphic design and animation. So you're going to have definite stars amongst the categories, but most of the main schools have very strong programs within the core skills.
Just want to give you some information because a lot of parents, they're not sure what the kids that are really good into what kind of art field. They need to build up the portfolio. So our school, starting in summer, we're going to have this kind of counseling service if you really need it. Of course, currently a lot of our students, they just do it themselves, but a lot of students, they really need help, a lot of help. Getting portfolio on time and doing doing the research and then understand what's going on. So if you need this kind of service, then you can just let us know. But every year we are going to provide this kind of seminar, this kind of service. So you're welcome to just come to our school, and we like to help students to get into your dream schools.
Does some school offer early decision choices?
You're not really going to see many early decision choices from art schools. So, RISD I believe does, but a lot of them are more portfolio based. They might make an early decision on them. I haven't really seen too many shoot for early decisions on them.
Well, I would say that Rhode Island School of Design is not, a lot of art school is not that hard to get in because the acceptance rate is 37%. Yeah, RISD is 37%. So it's really not that hard. But a lot of students, when they apply for RISD, they already have strong enough portfolio. And these are the people that you're competing with. But comparing to a lot of the other major universities, like those top 4 universities that we recommend is going to be the toughest one. RISD is not the one that is the toughest. Yeah, so. Sometimes it's like close.
Yeah, it's kind of close. I think
They didn't specifically say what is the acceptance rate.
yeah, I think that's looking at the benchmark average for people who are getting it.
Yeah, because some school like CMU, Carnegie Mellon, they are strongest in engineering department and also in their art school, in their art department. But if you don't have such a strong GPA and portfolio, you can think about San Jose State. Because San Jose, not from top to bottom, but still, San Jose State, as I know of, they have really good engineering, a computer science department. But in the meantime, they have really good art department, like animation, graphic design. Yeah, last time I had, last year, I had one student came back and she went to San Jose State. And then she became a product designer. And right now she is working at Facebook, very successful. So, yeah.
What is the minimum AP requirement for the minimum number of AP requirements for RISD and Art?
So the portfolio requirement for RISD?
No, for the academic, how many APs?
How many APs? It's not really about how many APs. When you're applying for an art college, the first thing they're going to look at is your portfolio. And you can get in on your portfolio alone. If your portfolio is strong enough, you will get in. If your portfolio is not strong enough to get in on its own merit, that's where GPAs, SATs, and things like that start to be weighing in, because they look at that as work ethic. And so they're looking at your portfolio generation. If you're not quite up to what their normal standards are, then suddenly they'll be looking at GPA as work ethic. They don't really, there's no you need this many APs or this many that. It's more about what your general GPA is, what your general SAT is. So if you can weight it with APs, then yeah, that would help.
Okay, so you mentioned Carnegie Mellon had that art
DXA.
technology.
Yeah.
So is there any other school also have
Not so much. This is the top.
And it's kind of a new thing that they're really kind of pushing along. I would actually be really surprised if we didn't start seeing it in other places.
Yeah.
Because it seems if it's going to be successful and work at Carnegie Mellon, I think other schools will take that example and move forward and develop similar departments. A lot of people who study art at traditional universities will design their own programs and try to design programs themselves. But then under those circumstances, you have to have permission from heads of departments and people to be allowed to do so. Where Carnegie Mellon has built their entire degree based on that mentality. So
in the general university,
at the
better
general,
chance, right?
Yeah, the general university, you'll have a better chance of a broader education and the interdisciplinary type thing. The art schools can give you an interdisciplinary education as well, but the other section of the things that they can train you in is much more narrow. They tend to focus on communication and marketing and business, which those are the 3 skills artists primarily need to function as professional artists. You need marketing, and understanding of business, and very clear communication skills.
Yeah, so if you decide to go to art school, spend a little bit more time on your portfolio rather than just academic. Okay, but if you're going to universities, you have to
reverse that completely. Your academics, of course, are the most important part. And then say if your academics are the part that are borderline and you're going into the art department there, your portfolio will then be taken into account. And so if you're in that kind of borderline of who's going to get in, the stronger portfolio would lead red to get in that way.
So you just mentioned, you say if for students with art major, but for the first 2 years the students have
to do general education.
Does it also apply to other
No, for those top universities, universities, like especially like private university, like USC and like Kennedy Mellon, they started when they first year.
Yeah, first year on those private ones, but like say like a San Jose State or something like that, they might actually, you have to go through the general education period, and during that time, I highly recommend that people practice on their own, take workshops, maybe take a class at a community college, something of that nature, just to keep skills moving forward. Because you will not be taking art classes for the first 2 years at most traditional universities if you study art. And in those 2 years, your skills can get very rusty very fast. And so you have to put your own personal effort on your side to maintain your skills at that time.
Yeah, they will let you know.
Yeah, they will let you know within a conversation. I know like Cal Arts is supposed to be excellent at this exact topic. There are students at Cal Arts that have been given full rides due to me. So it usually is it's based on a personal basis with a lot of the art schools where they're merit based. The only art school I know that has full scholarships for anything outside of merit or need would be Academy of Arts, and that's because they're the only full art school that has sports teams. So you can get a school, you can get an athletic scholarship there as well.
So what's the percentage? Like you have a lot of students get all the way this getting into this art. What percentage of them get merit-based scholarship?
I think I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure what the percentage of them getting that. I think that would be something that we could definitely look up and get information on that. But I know that scholarships are not, I mean, the bulk of people aren't on scholarships or anything. Most people are paying more going through financial aid. So, yeah.
For the risky,
Go ahead.
so for the risky freshman, it's separated according to different major or?
Yes, well, you're going to be separated into different majors. If there's a foundation department within the art school, like where Art Center doesn't have one, I believe RISD still does have a 1-year foundational period. You can declare your major upon entrance, but your foundation department will differ subtly according to what your major is. An illustration or fine art major or animation major, their foundation department will be based much more around, say, figure drawing, perspective, realism, and structural drawing and technical skills. Where a foundational department for a graphic design major may have more digital skills, conceptual design, logo design, and typeset and things of that nature. So it's going to depend on which direction you're going, what foundation department you be in.
So maybe several majors, if they have the common foundation.
They have similar foundations, yes. Like that's why I said like animation, illustration, fine art have very similar foundational skills, and a lot of them will be taking classes together in the beginning. But as they become advanced, they'll start heading in very different directions.
Another question is, since some majors in university and art center is very hard and difficult to apply and consider about the number of the admitted by the schools, so are there any skills when the students apply to the different major?
If you know the major that you're going to be applying for in art school, you should be trying to kind of tailor your skills at this point for that major, which would make you more attractive. So say if you're looking to be an animation major, your main skill that you should be focusing on is figure and gesture, figure, proportions, things of that nature are what are going to help you. If you're going to be a multidisciplinary animation major, you may also need to work on perspective and environmental design and backgrounds. Where like an illustration major would have to have rendering, observational skills, computer skills, still figure, and still perspective. Fine art majors are going to be expected to have kind of color theory, color design, figure skills, as well as perspective as well. So there are a lot of things that cross paths in that.
So for example, if I apply the graphic design of 3D or entertainment design in art center, if not admitted by this kind of major, will the school transfer you to another major such as illustration, which have a more
well, I mean, I believe you can declare interest in multiple majors with some universities. I've seen that where you can say my first pick is this, but I'm also interested in this, or you can enter into a broader topic. but I think that's going to change according to the different schools. I don't think there's a universal answer for that. So where RISD might ask you what your top 3 majors are, CalArts might ask you just one. I don't know off the top of my head which ones do what, but I do know they're very different from each.
Okay, so you talk about the financial aid, because I know several students couldn't go to the art center.
Yeah.
We get like a more full scholarship, full financial aid. If you get the full financial aid from UC, can you get it?
Yes, you can get full financial aid for private art schools. Private art schools are much more expensive than most UCs and things like that. You can get full FAFSA aid. Also, there are Cal grants. There's a lot of different ways to get money into these things. Like if you're maintaining above a 3.0 GPA within your university in California, that's $10,000 extra a year. That's not a loan, it's granted to you at the time. And so everything else is FAFSA based at this time. I know a number of people, actually one of my best friends went to Pasadena Art Center, but he went to a community college first to decrease costs, and then graduated from Art Center, and now he's a designer at Apple. So he did move through, but a lot of people will cut their costs by going to a Cal State or a community before going into a Pasadena Art Center or CalArts or something like that, getting their general education out of the way, and then they get to focus on just the art part of their degree when they go there. Some of the private art schools will ask that you'll have to test out of those classes, and it's up to their discretion being a private school whether they accept those credits or not. But they all will give you the opportunity to test out of those classes, and if you've done well in those classes, you will pass the test and not make them.
So even the CalArts, they still do the general education?
Yes, all art schools, to be accredited to have a bachelor's degree in the arts, you still have the same exact general education of everybody else. So you still have to take your basic math, your English, your language, your it's the exact same education. It's just that your major, you tend to spread your general education over all 4 years, and you start your major same first year. And so you're in your major from the beginning and your general education from the beginning. And most people balance it with, say, 2 studio classes and 2 general ed classes.
How valuable is like a master's degree in art, or folks just generally go to undergraduate industry?
The benefit of a master's degree in the arts is really it only makes you eligible to teach at a collegiate level. There's not really much of a benefit to it past that, except within schools such as architecture, which have high engineering levels as well. And so there are certain schoolings that you will do, industrial designers, automotive designers. They have a little more science and math and engineering involved, and so the master's degree is a little more beneficial for students of that nature. But for someone who, say, just wants to try to be an animator or an illustrator, most people finish their bachelor's degree and try to get work from there. Yeah, so the only benefit is that it opens you up to teach. And some private art schools will waive the master's degree, and if you're a working professional with a good resume, you can still teach. So that's really the benefit of a master's. It just kind of guarantees a collegiate level teaching job. I think your hands up.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, just talk about the collaboration major in Brown University and the RISD. So what is the program talking about? Like just what you said?
Collaboration media, or the collaboration between Brown and RISD. The collaboration of Brown and RISD becomes an interdisciplinary degree, much like CMU's, where you're going to be attending both colleges at the same time, and it's a 5-year minimum degree.
5 years?
5 years minimum.
Oh, so at the end you will get a...
At the end you will have a bachelor's degree from both Brown and RISD, and it will be the equivalent of an interdisciplinary degree where you can study one topic at Brown and study an art topic at RISD. Really, I mean, it's actually a pretty hard thing to do, but as I said, if you can get in for both of those, that would be one of my top recommendations to go to. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I heard from one student told me that, I don't know if it's true, but they said this is the hardest program to get in, RISD and Brown. But the problem is that their art is not going to be as solid as you go to RISD alone. Yeah. Because you have to accommodate a lot into your work at Brown.
From that
So in that, you have to sacrifice somehow. So some of the program, when you come out, you try to go to the art field. It might be a little bit hard because you're not going to be as ready as.
Yeah, you're probably just not going to be as technically sound within that. And then and the reverse on that is the same thing. What you study at Brown, you're probably not going to be as technically sound on that. So it becomes a more general degree covering two bases, which will give you a little more employment opportunity than say going straight from the arts themselves, because the arts are very competitive straight out of college, and most people have to be freelance when they first graduate. Yes.
When you're applying to a UC art department, do you have to choose a specific major when you're applying?
Yes.
Yes.
And our UC, except UCLA, most of the UCs, they don't look at your portfolio. They look at your academic first. Okay, so if you're going to UC with like art major, you have to focus a lot on your.
Primarily academics. You still have to meet their benchmark.
Is the art portfolio required?
The
art portfolio
for the
required?
UCs, I do not believe the art portfolio is required for the UC, but it is highly recommended, and I know the teachers do want to see it. And teachers and people within the department have a lot of pull and say, so if you walk in there, you have the right grades, and you have a really strong portfolio, and you can show it to the head of the department, and you show it to other university professors there, they can definitely help you, push you forward into the department. So although there might be someone who has better grades and better SATs, they can say, I've seen this kid's portfolio, it's excellent, and I believe they would be a great fit for our department. So I highly recommend the portfolio for any art department you're going towards, whether they require it or not.
Yeah, because I have one student who went to even San Jose State, and then because her GPA was not good at all, and she really wants to get in, but she has a really strong art portfolio. At that time, San Jose State is not looking at her portfolio, and she didn't even get into the animation, like San Jose State animation program. So she appealed to the board with the art portfolio and let her in. Because right after they see her portfolio, they let her in.
They can tell how serious, how much work.
Yeah, because in UC you can appeal.